I'm a gamer and running in circles. I'm a rabbit and running in circles. I'm annoying and running in circles. Might as well jump in the hole and be a bunny. Be a bunny!
Hola mis queridos, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Alicia, también conocido como Coneja. Hello my kittens, how are you? My name is Allison, also known as Rabbit, and today we're playing PowerWash Simulator. Feels like it's been a while, and it pretty much has been. I've been doing a lot of time off for some reason just because of stress, and I don't know why I have this much stress, just considering how laid back I am in my free time. Anyway, most likely you saw the 3 photos during the intro and you're probably confused and want an explanation or probably don't care about that explanation. I'm going to give it to you anyway. I want to make sure the gameplay on this channel is as comfortable for you as it is for me. I am over the age of 18. Over the age of 21, there's going to be cursing, cussing, and adult topics. Seriously, considering PowerWash Sim is basically a therapeutic game that requires voiceover. Or, or without. Either works. Go a little bit more in depth on the cursing side of things. I'm at that point in my life where I've changed what I use in my cursing with that I no longer use religious words in my cursing. This is God, Jesus Christ, holy hell, anything like that, seriously. And I've been doing this since 2018, pivotal year in my life, and until recently I couldn't figure out what words to use to replace them with. Now, most likely I'll be able to kiss myself on it, correct myself. If not, and you hear me use a religious word in my cursing, most likely because I accidentally left it in the video, please call me on it, comment down below, seriously. Um, Also, there's a chance I might have left it in just because it was hard to edit it out, just because I know I can talk pretty fast when I slip. I could really use your help because I haven't gotten used to it either since I started doing this and since I figured out what words to use to replace them with. It's insane. Anyway, we eventually I will do, I think, challenge mode. I'll probably do that maybe in a cheat stream. I think I was supposed to do a cheat stream this past Friday, and I just completely forgot. Okay, so we have a new job, but we still have one to finish, so I'm gonna focus on that. I am gonna look at this real quick. I want to see. We already have that. Looks like we're working on this, but I'm not sure if I have everything for see which one is it that I have. Prima Vista 3000. I want to make sure I have everything for that. That's modifications, no. Clothing, no. Cleaning, no. There you go. Equipment. Prima Vista 3000. Okay, owned. Owned. Okay, so I haven't bought this one. I haven't bought this one. Alright. Looks like that's it. Okay. Now let's double check on the messages because I can't remember. Yeah, we already did that. Okay. Let's continue, shall we? Maybe today we can finish it, considering the last episode I tried to go for 75, but didn't because I was just worried about being a recording over time. And I've noticed lately how much I am able to edit out, considering all the raw footage that I have, especially with PowerWash. So I kind of figured out how much to record, or how long I can record. It's in editing included. All right, we are doing this. I believe, just to double check, I believe we are done with everything on the first floor, correct? I just want to double check here. And if there's anything that I miss, well, we'll find out. Alright. Alrighty, dighty. So, I am aware that in the previous video, the previous episode, I had talked about my maladaptive daydreams, and one of the latest ones I had at the time, which was about me starting my own mafia, which, as I probably stated in that episode, I can, if I didn't have a creative outlet, I most likely would have created a mafia. Um, and I was actually talking to my therapist about this lately, uh, saying this most likely would have happened if I didn't have a creative outlet. And she's like, "Oh yeah, like a lot of people don't realize how important creative outlets are," um, and even I agreed with that. And I pointed out that if Hitler or Rasputin had a creative outlet, they wouldn't have become such assholes. Oh man. And she actually agreed with me on that. She's like, "Hey," and I hate to go back to this topic because I know I brought it up multiple times throughout my channel, but it really hurts, and for me, it emotionally hurts that Robin Williams has multiple times stated how much he has been unhappy publicly, and everyone kept seeing it as a joke. And one of those examples was an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Um, and I bring this up quite a few times with my therapist, and I don't know what video it was or what short it was. I'd watched something recently that had a clip of Robin Williams moments in Whose Line Is It Anyway? And one of those moments was him saying, I have a career, what the hell am I doing here? Or something like that. And everyone just busted out laughing. And just like a lot of the comments on that short were just saying, "Rip, we we had lost a good person, we lost a great comedian." A lot of people had no idea who, or not a lot, but there were some people that had no idea who he was. Um, Most likely because, you know, they don't follow comedians, or because they live outside of America, because I'm well aware that Robin Williams didn't always go international. Um, and not everyone appreciates his humor outside of America. So, and I'm just saying this as an overall judgment here. I'm not saying you personally. But, just because, like, you can't please everyone. And I'm sure Robin knew that, but still was unhappy because of the depression he had. But just that one bit just broke me when I first saw it, when I first saw that episode. Because no one noticed how serious he was with that. Everyone just thought it was a joke. And I imagine there were some people in the audience, and even those who watched that episode were like, "Oh shit!" But they still decided to laugh because the audience laughed. And I'm sure some of the audience felt heartbroken too, because they sympathized, because they saw the same thing in themselves. It's like no one bothered to speak up because in that moment, he was being honest about himself. And no one listened. No one truly listened. Except for me. And so I left a comment on that short saying, Robin, I forgot what my exact wording was, but what I said on the short was basically saying, Robin was crying out for help, and we didn't listen. That's what I generally said in my comments. And I'd have to look at it now to see if that ever got any likes, but I think the last time I checked, there was at least 5 or 10 likes on it, and I'm like, okay, at least some people are aware. It's just like, it's so sad that he was diagnosed of a depression that can't be diagnosed when you're alive. And if it can, it's so minuscule, so rare to actually find it. And what's crazy is that some of those symptoms that he has from that depression is a bit similar to mine. And it scares the crap out of me. Because I don't want to commit, and I hate I'm saying this and recorded, and most likely I'll be editing it out. But I have actually, in my lifetime, I've actually called the hotline twice. And the first time, it was just a thought. Because of an argument that I had with someone close to me. It was just a thought. And it scared the crap out of me. And then it happened again, I think, a few years ago. Because whatever emotional turmoil I was going through was very similar to what happened the first time. And for some crazy reason, I literally did want to grab something to commit through it. And the fact that went through my head, I was like, wait, no, this can't be it. This can't be how I end. And it scared the crap out of me. Once again, it scared the crap out of me. And I just, without hesitation, just picked up my phone and called the hotline. Just, it's crazy what a single conversation can do, not just with the hotline, but with someone in your life. And it's just, man. Actually, no, I called the hotline 3 times. And one of them was to help someone that I was aware of going through a situation. I'm sure she still is going through the situation with her family. And my heart seriously goes out to her. I really hope someday that she can finally break through the prison that she's in, mentally and physically. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say how I know her. But just my heart goes out to her, and I really hope that someday she can get out of it. It is so sad. Of her, it just sucks, that people can go and that people are in similar situations like hers and just have no escape to get out, no matter how hard they try. It sucks. It really does. And I'm sorry to be dragging on on this topic for so long. I shouldn't be. Um, and for some reason, just at this moment, a random scene from the movie Goonies just pops in my head. If you're not familiar with the movie Goonies, you are missing out, seriously. It's a movie that came out in the 80s. Um, and it's about these group of kids who live out on, I think, the boondocks of the city, or at least in the area of the docks, the boat that leads to, I think, the ocean. I know it's set in Astoria, Oregon, and there's even a house. I think the house they filmed in was uh, marked as historical landmark, I think, and I think it's actually a museum now for people to check out, everything that happened within the set. It's so cool. I love it. I really hope someday I can visit it. But anyway, the movie is about these group of kids that are, you know, living their lives and love how they live, love their lifestyle, despite the fact that their families are poor. Um, but well, relatively poor. They're used to their living style. Oh, what was that? Two. Okay. Um. So and like at some point during the beginning, the main character, who is played by Sean Astin, he brings up this story that his dad brings up so many times just because they're both like pirate lovers, treasure lovers, and all that jazz. And so he tells the tale of this pirate called One-Eyed Willie that just lived vicariously but didn't trust anyone except for his crew. Um, and kept his kept his treasured stuff like close to him. You know, pirate treasure and all. Relationships is included, I think. I don't know. But it was just so fascinating, the lore that he was telling to his friends. And and then right when he was right when his some of his questions was like doubting the story, because they were sure it was just pure fiction instead of historical. Um, oh, we got a star. And like right when they were like giving him crap about it, the doorbell rang, and it turns out to be these hot shot real estate agents, and his kid, uh, like one of their kids with them, which he happens to be pretty much an asshole. Um, and they say that they're foreclosing the house. They're taking down. They're trying to take all the property on the boondocks so that they can build a golf course. Seriously, and they want to, make. They wanted to talk to his dad to make sure that it's finalized and make sure that the guy, if the guy doesn't have the money for his house, like soon, like the house will be foreclosed or whatever, which really sucks. And so the, Sean Astin's character just managed to bring up the story again. It was like, hey guys, what if we tried to actually go on a treasure hunt to get the One-Eyed Willie's treasure? Fuck's sakes. And so the whole movie is just them having an adventure, and they actually call themselves the Goonies. And a lot of people in the town is aware of this too. Uh, and I think, oh, right, um, they decided to go on this adventure because of the money, but the treasure. But they knew they couldn't do it with the big brother, Sean Astin's. I forgot what his. I don't know why I'm not remembering their character names. But the big brother of Sean Astin's character is played by Josh Brolin. So to see the actor playing different roles that are completely the opposite of his role in Goonies is just a little bit astounding to me. But but when he finally breaks out of like the makeshift like rope they used to chain him to the chair, like he couldn't get free. He couldn't do it himself. Like his mom and their new housekeeper finally showed up and noticed what was going on. She demanded what happened, and So he comes out, realizes that his brother popped the uh, uh, that his brother aired out the tires on his bike. In the background, you can hear the mom yelling, or not in the background. It was before he left that. It was while he left the house, actually, not before he noticed the bike. Where his mom yells out, "You better get your brother back here, or I'll commit Krishna," or something like that. And the brother just yells out, "That's Harry Carey, mom." So fucking hilarious. It was when that scene happens, you just can tell that's where the little brother got his, mis misunderstanding of word usage, Um, because like at the beginning, he's trying to figure out what word he's supposed to be using. I think he was trying to say like deprecating, dilating, whatever, and the older brother is, um, the older brother corrects him saying diluted. It's like, yeah, whatever. So funny. The little details in the story I absolutely love when it comes to you know revealing the stories. I love the little lore, the little details. It makes the character come to life. It makes the story come to life. And I'm not saying it makes it realistic. I'm just saying having little details like that just gets you to be drawn to the character rather than just the story itself. And when that happens, you can actually have like some sort of emotional connection to them, whether it's a negative or a positive emotion. And that's why I care so much when I write my stories. Um, when I try to do as much research as I can. And sometimes I don't do research because I'd rather not know the main subject. I'd rather not know the details of this particular subject because it would ruin the story. I should probably mention this, that I actually have been listening to a lot of fictional stories on YouTube lately when it comes to abuse. And I don't know what's drawing me to it. I think it's the psychological of it all. Because it's not just like physical abuse or emotional abuse, it's also financial abuse, um, like all kinds of different illegal shit. I don't know what draws me to it, whether it's realistic or not. Just it's so fascinating to me, and I really do think it's because of the psychological angle to it. Um, because I'm fascinated with not just the societal structure, but just how people treat each other, realistically or unrealistically. And it seems that I'm more drawn to financial abuse for some reason, and I don't know why. But one of the latest stories that I had listened to this month made me realize, oh, um, like it was one of the financial abuse stories, and it was just in such a manner where they were saying, where the narrator was saying, you know, they were neglecting, or not, they were neglecting him, um, or her. Like sometimes the narrator is female when the main character of the story is male, or the opposite. It's really weird. Um, but the narrator was saying that the main character was being neglected, and the family was abusing them financially to the points where they couldn't go to family outings, couldn't go to social outings, simply because all their finance was to help the family financially, and they couldn't go to like any social gatherings because they didn't have the money to do it. To actually participate. And it was after that story where it was either after or during it where I just decided to pause the video for a second and think about my current lifestyle. And I'm like, why does this story sound so familiar? And it made me realize I'm financially abusing myself. And I pointed this out to my therapist, and I pointed it out to my mom, because I tell her almost everything. And I do mean almost. I don't like telling her certain details about my deep dark stuff. Um, but especially when it comes to sexual stuff. But anyways, just like I brought this up to her and my therapist, and they were like, "How so? Why do you think you're financially abusing yourself?" And I explained it fully. Like, I have made it a thing where I think I need to have money to hang out with my family outside of our own homes. Because, I mean, even my mom and dad always support me, um, finances included. So if ever there's a family outing and either of them are included, they pay for my part, um, whether I ask for it or not, which I am totally grateful for. I love it. I I almost always thank them for it when it happens too, especially afterward. And but a lot of times when they're not involved, and it's my oldest sister that's doing the outing, that's in charge of the outing. 75% of the time she asks, "Do I have the money to do it?" And it makes me feel like I can't be a part of something if I don't have the money. And I have to admit, lately she hasn't been doing that, which I am thankful for. I love, and especially when it comes to Christmas holidays, I think it was about, I think probably 5, 10 years ago when I finally talked to her about it, and she was like, "You know what? Don't worry about getting us Christmas presents, as long as you're there." And that fucking made me happy. And since then, I've just been working on um, making sure I just get at least one present for my nieces. And I had stopped that actually a couple years, like about 2, 3 years ago, just because the kind of present that I normally gave them was custom calendars that had our family birthdays in it and pictures of the two of them together. And I try to make sure that the photos are current of the previous year. Although it's been harder lately because they haven't been together as often. So whenever I try to ask in those like final 3 years of it, every time I tried to ask for photos of the two of them, it was less than 12, which sucked. So I had to figure out what to do. And after the third year, I was like, you know what? I can't financially do this anymore because it was so expensive um, to do that. And so I just had to figure out how to make presents by hand. And I had to exclude presents. I had to exclude the presents for my nieces. But thankfully, they don't. I mean, as much as they love presents, they also love being with the family too, which is all that matters to me. But I'm not gonna. Nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna complain about one of my nieces because I know my family watches my videos. Anyway, where was I? Right, financial abusing myself. So because of that, because of that opinion about myself, like I've been splurging because of that opinion. I've been splurging on fast food deliveries, on the mobile games that I play, and on the book apps that I use to read. Which, on that, I completely don't care. Because I absolutely love the books that I'm reading on those apps, and I would spend $50 if I could, if I had the money. Anyway, um, but at least with the book apps, I can actually control myself. Anyway, so today, or not today, this month I made the decision that I would treat one of my credit cards as a savings account. Because I used to have a savings account, and I had to close it because the interest on it was stupid. Either there was interest or there was just something going on with the savings account that I didn't like, and it was giving me issues. And right now, the credit card is giving me issues. Like, the interest rate on it keeps... I shouldn't say the interest rate is increasing, but the payments for the interest rate is increasing, which really confuses me. But I imagine it's partly due to me using the card constantly. So I think the plan that I have right now is going to be good to the card. So as I said, I'm going to treat the credit card as a savings account. I'm going to make sure that when I budget out my ledger, to make sure that I only have $100 left on it, and whatever money I have available after that $100 to place it on the credit card, the savings account. Okay. So, hopefully that'll work. I mean, I do have a second credit card account. I do have a second credit card, but that one actually has 0 interest rate, thankfully. That actually, the company actually ended, I don't know, I forgot what the policy was or what it was, but I think it was about 2-3 years ago where they sent me a letter saying, hey, there's going to be 0 interest rate from now on. I'm like, well, thank fuck. Because there were a couple of months where I was like, what's going on here? And then I got that letter and I'm like, oh, okay, this is awesome. So I'm legit excited that happened. Heck yeah. Oh, I missed a spot there. There we go. There we go. Just double checking here, yeah. There we go. So yeah, uh, I'm actually excited, and I've brought this matter up with not just my mom, but my therapist as well as my boo. And like when I told him about this idea of mine, I legit told him that I didn't want his approval, but I just wanted him to know like what was going on with me financially, and he was like, I am so proud of you, and I support you on what you're doing here. Like, thank you. I've yet to tell my dad yet or my siblings, um, but I look forward to their reactions. Uh, see, I think I might have told Anna. I can't quite remember. Um, but just I'm so happy to have come up with this idea. Because when I say like I'm gonna have only $100 to my account, I say this as in I say this to like control myself on how much money I use, not just with my mobile games or my books, but also like extended grocery money for when I use my insurance. Because I know there are certain items that can't be covered with OTC. Um, And I almost forgot. Where's the ladder? Whoa. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I look forward to telling my sisters about this. Uh, and yeah, just like that $100 is going to be to the extra money that I need for groceries. Because I know some stuff, as I said, I know some stuff can't be covered by OTC. Um, and the money on my savings account, and I say this in quotations, I will use for either emergencies or family outings that are outside the house, our houses, and just like anything that I need for my apartment, really. Because I am in desperate need of a microwave. My old one is so gross and so broken down. Like I desperately need a new one. Um, and I also need to pay the other half of the payment to my illustrator. Um, I hope y'all are enjoying the new profile picture for the channel. I definitely am, and I absolutely love it. It's been a hassle though for the thumbnails. I think I need to talk to Mandy about this. The illustrator that I used, her name is Groovy Mandy. She is engaged. She and her wife, she and her fiance are trying to make sure they have enough budget for their wedding and all that. So when I first found out about this, I was like, you know what? Use my payments for part of your wedding. Because you deserve every ounce of it. And I'm sure your wedding, and I definitely want your wedding to be beautiful. Every girl's dream is to have a wedding day just for her and her groom. Just for her and her spouse. He's her spouse. I'm being general about it because I am fully aware about gay marriages. I don't know how many countries allow it, but I know it is very limited here in America. Actually should look up details on that for Missouri. I don't know if Missouri allows gay marriage or not. Because I know it's been like, uh, I know it's been going back and forth for the past decade or two. But yeah, it's been a little hectic. Uh, oh right, I remember now why I brought up the financial abuse, um, or the stories. I mean, like it wasn't just to talk about the financial, it wasn't just to talk about myself financially abusing myself. Um, it was also to mention the stories that I've been writing lately. I know I should be focusing on Christmas story that I've been trying to publish for like the past 3 years. But I just can't help. I can't control my imagination. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to. I should, considering it's affecting my health and considering it's affecting my physical and mental health. But I love my imagination too much that I don't want it to stop. I mean, I think that's the main problem. Anyway, um, my mind has been wandering so much about these abuse stories that I've been listening to that I'm like, what if some of these stories went to a supernatural stake? Had a supernatural stake to it, you know? And so I ended up writing one, because I wanted to see how far I could go. Not just with the supernatural side of it, but the abuse part of it. Because, like, I noticed that me coming up with villains, but I've noticed that the villains in almost all my stories are lacking. I need something that can help me improve my writing style for the villains and the depth within those villains too. Because the villain in my Cinderella story is lacking, is definitely lacking. Um, like I've definitely changed the beginning of it, and I've changed the name of it, of the story. Originally, it was Ashlyn's dream come true, and then it was Ashley's dream come true. But after rewriting the beginning as well as certain parts of it to match the beginning, uh, brain work here. I've had to basically realize I had to realize, that I had to retitle the story. And I have to admit, the inspiration for rewriting the beginning is because of a Hallmark movie. And the title of the movie is, I think, In My Dreams. It's either In My Dreams or In Her Dreams. And I think I've mentioned this movie before. I don't know if it was on PowerWash or Hustler, but I know I've brought it up before, this movie. And like I absolutely love the movie. The lore on the fountain in the movie just draws me to like the supernatural side of things in my universe, I'm like, what if there really is such a thing for the supernatural world? What if there really is a fountain that could make your dreams come true? So I made it a thing, in the Cinderella story where if you wish with your entire heart, and the wish is of pure heart, then it will be granted. Like the wish can't be selfish. The wish can't be um of personal greed. It can't be revenge. It can't be any negative emotion, basically. It has to be You have to be true to yourself, be true with your heart, and wish. Um and the person who built the fountain, once the first wish had been granted, the person who built the fountain realized, oh, I used enchanted materials from a different country, and so they tried to make it a thing, and they tried to make it public of what he had done with the fountain, and because of that, they changed, or not they changed, they added something to the fountain, um, and basically made it part of a tour guide with kids, and that's basically the beginning. Um, and what I added to the lore of this fountain is in the movie, um, the person who told the main character about the fountain was that if you didn't find your soulmate in 7 days, you would never see them again. You would never hear from them again. Like it is basically the seventh day is basically your last opportunity to find your soulmates. Otherwise, you just won't. It won't enter your mind ever again. Um, and I think the person knew about the lore because it happened to them. Because they definitely were. They multiple times throughout the movie, like she was speaking woefully. Um, but anyway, I made it with this. the fountain in my story, I made it so that there is no deadline. I made it so that that the length of your wish could be completed within a matter of days, hours, weeks, months, years. Like, it didn't matter, but it would be granted once you got the result of your wish. It would be granted, or I shouldn't say granted, but once your wish was granted, like, you will eventually get what you wanted. It didn't matter how long it would take, but you will get what you want. And so because of that, I decided to implement it further by making it the country that this is set in. I made it so that there are multiple stories in the same country. And so this story that I've written about abuse, I made it so that her soulmate, that the main character's soulmate, is in that same city with the fountain and makes a wish. Because, like, I've clearly stated in multiple books that they're all in the same universe because of the soulmates rule that I've created. And the rule is that I shouldn't say rule, system, the soulmate system. And the system that I made was that you are connected to your soulmates physically, emotionally, and mentally, spiritual even. And with that, like, once you physically bond, which means sex, basically, why can't I look down? But as I said, once you physically bond, complete that bond between the two of you, those connections strengthen, especially mentally, because the universe wants to make sure that you guys can count on each other in emergencies or just on daily needs or wants, And if you're not figuring it out, it's telepathy, guys. Telepathy. uh, But also, when I say physical connection, I mean to say, like, if you have any cuts, wounds, bruises, illness, anything like that, it is reflected on your soulmates. And the only way to heal those is to be physically close to each other. And it kind of matters as to how close you are to each other. It all depends on what it all depends on the severity of the cuts, wounds, or illness, And sometimes I don't always have that physical connection work on certain characters, just because it would ruin the flow of the story. But with the abuse story, I had to make sure that it was fully committed, So when her soulmate was at the fountain, I made it so that he wished he could find his soulmate, or he could find the other half of his heart and end her torment. Because over the years, he's been able to feel all that abuse, all that neglect to her body, and it's been driving him nuts that people are treating her that way. And so, after hearing that tour happen one more time with the same woman from the original, from the Cinderella story, he was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I need to find her. And so he made that wish. you made that wish, and I made the implication of the main character's physical um, ailments happen immediately. Because I made it that and I shouldn't say I made it. I had it that her best friend had to go through a kidney transplant, and so she was like, you know what, I will do I want to find out if I'm a match, and if I am, I want to donate my kidney to you. And her best friend was really thankful, and it turned out she was a match. But there is some inconsistencies between her and her parents. I didn't say, I'm not going to spoil it. Um, but the title kind of implies the spoil. um, but anyway, just like the kidney transplant happened, and then like a week later, actually no, at the same day of the kidney transplant, her soulmate made the wish, and with that, the kidney transplant that she had gone through was basically implemented on him. He didn't lose his kidney, because kidney that she donated happened to be the same kidney that he had donated earlier in his life. Um, and all right, I have to admit that part I decided to like kind of exclude for the physical part of the soulmates thing, just because like even though it doesn't quite make sense there, I didn't want to imply that whatever happens with the organs also happens to the other soulmates. Because like I had it so that once the two were close enough, they would get both their kidneys back, but her best friend still had the kidney. Because it wouldn't have been fair. It wouldn't have been fair if I implemented that. Because if I had implemented that her best friend got her best friend's kidney transplant was just suddenly gone, like it would have affected her health dramatically, and it would have affected her best friend's soulmate's health as well. And I didn't have the heart to do that. But yeah, um, it's crazy. I'm not gonna say the title of the story just because it actually does spoil um what happens after the kidney transplant. But as I said, like I had that kidney transplant surgery like affect him immediately once the wish came true, once the wish was granted, which meant his skin tore apart, revealing the gash, revealing that something had happened to his soulmate that day, uh, and he ended up having to go to the hospital. And thankfully, his primary doctor is part of the super spectrum, so he was able to explain to him that they use werewolf blood to have him heal quickly, but the werewolf blood did a lot more than healing, um, or did a lot more healing than expected, which for some weird reason was affecting his health dramatically. So the doctor basically said that if he didn't find his soulmate soon, he and his soulmate would be dead by the end within a month. Um, which was fine at this point because, like, he knew that if he didn't find his soulmate anyway, she would be stuck in this abusive torment that she's in. So, but because of the pain that this was causing him, like, he had to stop pretty much every hour during his ride, during his drive, finding her. Which basically, wait, what? What? Oh. Oh. Eh. What's going on? Oh. This wall isn't clean. Oh. Oh, jeez. There we go. Um. Can I not get any of the spotlights? Where are the spotlights? Oh, could it be underneath? Yeah. Um, where's the other spotlight? Spotlight! Na, 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 na. Okay. Na, 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 na. Oh, it's on top too. Fence and wall base. There we go. And seems there's actually, you know what? Let's do the wall first. Oh. Huh. And let's see. Oh, we are basically out of time. But I do. Oh, it's just fine. Hey, FA, any chance you can come hose down our spare truck? The mayor's running us ragged over here. Wait, what was that achievement? What was that achievement? Look at that. Alright. Um. Alright, you know what? I'm actually curious of what that achievement was. I want to check. Complete the fire station job without standing on the scaffolding. Was that it? Yeah, it was. That is an interesting achievement. Not standing on the scaffolding. I thought I did, though. I know I used the scaffolding. Right? I'm fairly certain I did. There's video footage. I wonder if it meant like using the actual like scaffolding sides, which I know I didn't. I wonder. That is interesting. Um, freaking all caps. Hello, Doc. I hope you're as good as with cars as you are with houses. I've got my old wagon out of the garage, and it's dirtier than a dung beetle's Christmas list. It still turns over fine, but I'm not taking Dolores out for a spin till it's as gleaming as she is. Thanks, Leonard. F.A. We're currently down at Oakwood Falls, about to risk life and limb because someone thinks they saw the mayor's cat licking its paw under the waterfall. It's got to stop, and I've had a brainwave. Bring the old truck out from the garage, give it a clean up, and send the recruits out on that wild goose chase whilst the rest of us get on with all the proper jobs. It's hella filthy, but if you could do your thing and make it sparkling, the mayor will never tell the difference. Thanks, pal. Oh man, that's funny. Um, but we are basically out of time. Um, I think we'll do Grandpa Miller's car first in the next video, and if we finish early in time, we'll probably start with the fire truck. Um, both are pretty much quick jobs, in my opinion. Uh, and let's double check what we need. Actually, that's not what it was. With PowerWash. 90, and we need 5,000. So basically, I mean, we could use soap. That would be a bit quicker. But I know sometimes it's not helpful. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, it really all depends. It really all depends. But we need to save as much money as possible if we want to get this in time. Because basically we need 15 stars? And, oops. Basically that's 3 jobs. Yeah, that is 3 jobs. But we're not going to be able to get the money for it in time. I shouldn't have bought those 2 things. But, we'll worry about it later. Anyways, I better get going, y'all. It is way past my bedtime. I gotta get going. I gotta stop recording this late. But, if... Actually, I'm kind of curious where my career bar is at now. We're almost at the halfway mark. Craziness. And we're at part 24 now? Yeah. Who'da thunk? Who'da thunk? Anyway, yeah, so it really is interesting about on how much abuse stories there are on YouTube. Most I'm fairly certain like 90% of them are fiction. Um, if not 100%. Because some of them say they're true stories, but just the way it's written is just like, how is this true? Just because there's inconsistencies in some of them. But hey, there are even some military ones, and those are really scary stories. After listening to 2 of them, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the military stories. uh, I love you all my beautiful kittens and viewers. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did. If so, smash that like button like a kitten would. And if you're just now tuning into this channel and you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and make it that beautiful gray, as well as that bell icon right next to it. That'll notify you of all videos that I do, which are on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central, and Sundays, 4:30 p.m. Central. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Sweet Rascally Rabbit, loving this nature sound in the background, and also saying goodbye. Stay awesome, and may hope always follow you.
I'm a gamer and running in circles. I'm a rabbit and running in circles. I'm annoying and running in circles. Might as well jump in the hole and be a bunny. Be a bunny.
I actually really like that. That actually felt more authentic, that outro. I'm glad I switched it.